So let's start on our backs, and you can use head and neck support if you'd like. And let's just start in constructive rest pose. So you've got your knees bent in a comfortable way for you. And as you lie down here, just maybe place your hands so that you can feel the floor below you, like palm down, feeling the floor. And then wiggling your toes a little bit so you also feel the floor with your toes. And then just rocking a couple of times on your hips so you feel the connection between the floor and your sacrum and your hips. Good. And then you can keep going with those movements, or you can let them settle and then noticing your back. So you might move your shoulder blades down your back away from your ears just by wiggling. You can let your head rock side to side on the floor a few times. Again, feeling that connection between body and floor. And then when you're ready to, you could find a stillness. Your hands, you can change position with your hands if you want. And just notice how you're feeling physically, how you're feeling mentally and emotionally, energetically. And then feeling your breath as it goes in and your breath as it goes out. Moving into more of a wide inhale and a long exhale. And you could inhale and fill up completely, and then top it off with a second inhale. And then an exhale out your mouth. Long, getting every last bit of air out. Good. And then let's transition to either breathing in and out through your nose or through your mouth, and drawing knees into your belly. And just giving your knees a squeeze. Can make circles on your low back. If you want to, you could curl up into a little ball. And then slowly, with the chin tucked, lower back down. Soften your neck, soften your jaw. Let's hold behind both legs if you can reach, and just stretch them up. And then inhale, let's point the toes, and exhale, flex, or vice versa, it doesn't matter which way you do the breath. And now, if it feels okay to let go of your legs, let's let go. It's okay if they bend. And I'm just going to take the palms of your hands and rub them together like you're trying to warm them up. And then let's try to take the soles of your feet and rub them together as well. Feeling that friction and the contact for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just let your legs come down to the floor or your feet. And you can place the heels of your hands over your eyes for a moment. You might feel a little tingling in your hands and feet. And also noticing what it's like just to have that darkness as you put your hands over your eyes. And noticing your breath as it comes in and as it goes out. Good. Again, breathing in and out. All right, and you can slowly bring your hands away from your eyes, either rocking yourself up or you can roll to your side to come up. And I'll just sit, you can sit cross-legged, or if there's a better way for your legs to be, you can do that. I'm going to sit myself up on a blanket here. And we're just going to start to make circles with the torso. Just around and around. They don't have to be as big as I'm doing them. They can be any amount of circling, letting your breath flow. Let's do a couple more, just feeling the rocking around your seat, your legs, and then reverse. Good, then coming into the center, I'm going to do just a little bit of cat and cow here seated. So your hands can rest on your knees or your legs, and just inhale. Imagine your belly buttons being pulled forward, and then exhale, belly button sinking back, and repeat. I'm feeling it like it's coming right from your center and behind your back, low back. And now let's take the focus up to the sternum area. So feel as though the sternum is leading the way as it comes forward and the sternum is sinking back. Okay, now let's focus on the throat leading the way, only if it feels okay on the neck. Just go gently. And notice what that feels like. The rest of the spine can still move too. It's leading the way, the throat is. Good. And then just coming back to the center here, letting the shoulders rest down and breathe. Good. All right, we're going to take the legs out in a V. Boom. Okay. You can stay up on your blanket there. And in this position, we're going to do the same thing or similar things. So we'll start with some torso circles. And then reverse. Good. And then let's come in up into the center. This time, what we're going to focus on, instead of cat and cow, it's kind of like a cat and cow, but we're going to focus on it just in the hip and low back. So think about exhale, I'm going to tuck my tail under. It's almost like bad posture right here. And then as you inhale, feel like belly button's coming forward, pelvis is tipping forward, and repeat. And this one, we're not moving too much of the rest of the spine. We're just doing that pelvic area, trying to find that tuck and untuck, tuck and untuck. Now, some people might not be able to do this. I should have mentioned this without hands behind the back, right? That might be the only way to be able to get your pelvis to untuck. That's fine. Okay, now let's bring the legs together or closer. They don't have to touch. And same thing, your hands can always support you. We're just going to make some circles here. Keep breathing, noticing how this feels. And if you're really tight in the legs, there might not be any leaning forward like this. It might be all back here. That's okay too. It can be really small, remember. I'll just show it like that for a moment. It might just look like this. Okay, reverse directions if you haven't already. Good. Good. And then coming up to the center, again, you can prop up your hands behind your back if you'd like. We're just going to do the same tuck and untuck of the pelvis. Okay, so they can be here. This is me showing it, supporting from behind, right? Or it might be without. Remember, not really using the head or neck. It's just the pelvis, okay? And the low back will likely be involved. Good. All right. Now let's come into the center, what you feel like is neutral for you. You can always keep your hands here. We're going to bring the right knee in and bend it, placing the foot on the floor. How wide that foot is from the other leg is just going to be your personal preference, okay? Well, inhale and just try to sit up as tall as you can. And then as you exhale, we're going to turn toward the right. And as you do that, let's let the right hip step back some. So like this. So here's my right hip. Just going to walk it back a little bit as I twist. And now with your head, can you take your chin to line up with the center of your chest? So not looking to the right, but just right in the middle here. Relaxing your left shoulder away from your ear. Just bringing it down. You might need to lower it down the leg to do that. Breathing in and out. And as you take your next exhale, can you twist, not from the neck, but can you twist like you're twisting your sternum to turn toward the right more? And then as you exhale, let's untwist, coming back to the center. And we're going to let that right knee fall out to the side. Now again, you can sit up on your blanket. You can also prop that knee with a block or a pillow, okay? And we're going to do the same thing. The torso circles, going gently, paying attention to that right knee. And then reversing, going the opposite way. Good. And then coming into the center here, just going to take this left ankle and inhale as you pull the toes towards your shin and exhale as you point the ankle, plantar flexion, and repeat. Your hands can either be propped up behind you or they can be resting on your knees, whatever feels better to you here. Okay. Then letting that ankle relax, let's bring that right knee up, straighten out that right leg, and bend the left leg. Good. Now, I like to come off of my blanket for this part, but you don't have to at all. I'm just going to inhale, sit up tall. And as I exhale, left fingertips come behind. I'm going to walk that left hip back as I twist. I'm going to do the same thing with this twist. I'm going to try to keep the chin lined up with the sternal notch at the middle of your chest. And as you inhale, you get tall. And as you exhale, think about twisting around sternum toward left. Relaxing that right shoulder and the left shoulders down away from your ears. Good, and then slowly untwist yourself here. Let's let that left knee fall out to the side. You could sit up on your blanket, you could prop things, okay? And we're gonna do the same thing. Around and around, just letting your breath flow. And around the opposite direction. Good, and then coming into the center here, let's flex and point that right ankle. You can look at it, just noticing how this ankle is moving today. Keep breathing. Okay. Let's bring that left knee up and straighten it out. Just kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle the legs around. Going to take the hands behind your back as you bend both knees. Feet and knees are wide. Mine are about a little wider than my shoulders. And I'm just going to see how it feels to windshield wiper the knees in this position. And I have to come off of my blanket to do this to allow mine to go down a little further. Right? They don't have to go down that far, right? Just depends on your own body. They might be really small like this, or it might be deeper like this. Okay. Keep breathing, letting your breath flow. And paying attention to what you're feeling. What are you noticing in your own body right now? All right, and coming back up to the center with your knees, we're going to come onto our hands and knees. And now you're going to need some props, okay? Not everybody, but I think most people will need some props to protect your knees. And what we're going to do, so I've got 2 blocks. Blocks work great for this. If you don't have blocks, I really recommend getting them. They're so good and useful for a yoga practice. And what I'm going to do with my blocks is I'm going to set up 2 of them so that I can sit without pain in my knees. Now, if you don't have blocks, it's okay. Get some pillows and blankets, roll them up, stack them up so that you are up pretty high, okay? Well, wherever there's no pain. So for example, say you don't have any pain at all. You could sit on your heels like this and you don't even need blocks, okay? But I really want you to feel 0 pain. It's okay to feel a stretch, but no pain in the knee, okay? And what we're gonna do, and I'll show you how to do this in a chair if you just can't bear any weight on your knees. I'll show you that too. But what we're gonna do is work on a hip hinge, okay? So what we're gonna do is lean forward and stand up. And then as you sit back down, normally when I've had you do this in the past, we would sit straight down like this, okay? But this is something else. Instead, we're working on this hinge. So we're leaning forward, up, and squeeze your butt when you do it. Not with your hands, but with your muscles of your butt, okay? And then back, forward and up, squeeze the glutes, and forward and back. Okay, now keep going, okay? And just notice whatever you're noticing in your own body. I'm just showing it with a chair for people who cannot be on their knees. You just don't have any of the right props. And we're going to do this in a little while anyway. But just to show, I'd lean forward, sit to stand, squeeze the glutes, lean forward, butt goes back and down. Okay. Okay, let's do a few more in whichever version you're doing. Good, and then just come onto your hands and knees. If you're doing the chair version, you can stay there and I'll show you what to do in a moment. But if you're on the floor, what we're gonna do is tuck our toes under as best as you can. And you can get the props out from behind you. And we're just going to untuck the tail, right? So untuck like we worked on. That means like if you're wagging a tail, it would be going up toward the ceiling. And start to come back towards your heels. And then rise back up. Now let your neck relax as you do this. And most people are going to find that they can't keep their tail untucked like I'm showing. Most people are going to find that it rounds as you go down. You're just trying your best to notice when that starts to happen. How far back do you get when you go back? Trying to keep it untucked. If you're in the chair, untuck the pelvis here at a chair and just leaning forward between the legs, neck is relaxed. Back up, just make sure this isn't hurting your back as you do it. You can use your hands on your legs. Good, a couple more, whatever version you're doing. Good, and then we're gonna come up. So if you're on the chair, you just stay there. If you're on the floor, tucking the toes again. Walking hands back, rising up. You can inhale to reach those arms up. And exhale, let's bring the palms together down in front of your chest. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, arms out to the sides and up. Exhale, palms together like you're drawing a line right down your midline in front of your chest. 2 more times. Good, and then pausing here, and let's just notice your feet on the floor. You can wiggle your toes, kind of like a cat kneading their paws. Feel your fingers touching, relaxing through your shoulders and your jaw. And can you feel your breath below your arms? So just feeling your rib cage expand here. Okay, then letting the arms come down. I'm going to do some heel raises. You can stand at a wall or behind a chair to hold on to if you'd like. Okay, let's try to do them with our toes pointed forward if that works in your body. Okay, so you can look at your feet, just glance and notice if the feet are turned out. Feel if it's okay to take them forward. And then inhale, lifting the heels. Exhale, coming down and lifting the soles of the feet. And repeat. We're trying to do this without hinging from the hips forward and back. It's almost like you're just a straight line coming up and back. If you want to, you can even take your arms up and then exhale back. And inhale up and exhale back. Good, 2 more. Good. All right, now let's let the feet be down and just notice for a moment. How do you feel through your feet, your ankles, your legs, your shoulders? Feeling your breath come in. You can use your umbrella breath. You can use your ujjayi breathing or your natural breath. And feel it go out. Good. So how steady do you feel right now through your breath and your lower body? Now, just what's your sense of steadiness? And then what is your sense of ease in your body? And can we have a balance of steadiness and ease? Okay. Now, if you've got a block, I'm going to grab it. You could use, I think I would use maybe nothing if you don't have a block. I think it'll be hard. Maybe if you have a firm pillow, it could work. And what I'm going to do, and if you do decide to buy blocks, those of you that don't have them yet, I would get, these are the 4.5 inch. They make narrow ones too, but I do like these. I think they're a little more useful. If all you can find is the skinnier ones, that's fine. But what I'm going to do is put this right above, so here's the top of my kneecap. So the bottom of my block is right above the knees, right above it, right? Okay. And so I'm holding it, and you could have it the skinny way too. I just feel like for this exercise, it might work best for most people, the medium width, not the wide width, right? So notice how your block has all these widths, okay? All right, here we go. We're gonna do what we did the rocking ankles as we did it before, but we're gonna add a bend in the knees. So I'm gonna inhale, lift the heels. And then as I exhale, I'm gonna bend at the hips and the knees and come down. And then I'm gonna inhale, lift, exhale down. Inhale, lift, exhale down. Inhale. And now I'm gonna add in, and you can do it too if you want to. It threw off my balance. I'm gonna rock back. So I come into dorsiflexion with the ankles as I rock back. All right, so I'm just adding in another thing. I'm squeezing that block. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then just stand up. You can set your block down and just notice. Following your breath in and following it out. Good. So hopefully you got some good muscle activation in there. Plus, you got your ankles moving, right? All right, we're going to come to the chairs now. And we're going to be doing that same sit to stand that we were doing on the floor. Again, just working on muscles to create physical steadiness in our lower body and squatting. Okay, so we'll start seated. Your feet are pretty wide. You're going to decide how wide. Knees are the same width. So as we come up, we're going to exhale, lean forward so you get this hinge, and stand. Squeeze your butt muscles, and then inhale, lean forward, sit back. Okay, now we're going to try that same thing over and over, but we're going to go really slowly on the way down. So it's going to be quick up, like explode up, slow down. Maybe we should use the exhale down. You can decide that, okay? In fact, I'll try that this time. So I'm going to inhale. And you can do the breath however it feels best for you. You're just trying to control. You might even look at your knees this next time so you can see, are they wobbling? Are they staying open? Remember that tightening when you come up. Good. All right, so now of course, to make that easier, you wouldn't bend as far all the way to a chair. You would do something higher up, and to make it harder, you would do something lower than the chair seat. Let's try this now. We'll come back to our block, right? And we'll put it in that same spot just above the kneecaps. Give it a good squeeze. Okay. And this time, we're not going to sit on the chair, okay? I shouldn't be lined up right next to it. Let me move it. We're just going to come back into a version of a chair pose and hold, okay? Shoulder blades are down my back. Hands can be wherever they feel best to you, okay? Neck is relaxed. You're breathing. Can you find some steadiness here? Squeezing that block, using your breath. But can you also find some ease? Neck, jaw, right? Keep moving those shoulder blades down your back, away from your ears, reaching your chest up and forward. That's it. Good, and then let's stand up. You can take away your block, just set it down. Let's move our chairs in front of our mat, Just standing in front of them. We'll inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, let's fold, taking hands to the chair And then I'm just going to widen my feet. Okay. And from here, let's bend one knee and then bend the other knee. Good. All right, then come into the center. We're going to wiggle the feet closer to one another. And you can bend the knees for this too. Let's, in fact, everybody bend their knees and reach your chest forward to get long. Neck can be at ease. If your back is bothering you today, leaning forward, you can do this seated in the chair, okay? First thing I'm going to do is pull my toes off the floor so that they raise up, balls of feet are down. And then I'm going to do wobbly cowboy. So I'm going to roll onto the pinky toe edges of the feet and then on the inner edges of the feet. So it's like I'm going bow-legged and knock-kneed. And you can adjust how far away your feet are so that it feels right to you. Just trying to keep the whole time those toes pulling up. Good. And then just bringing the feet down, let's inhale and extend your spine forward with the back of your neck in neutral, taking the weight towards the balls of your feet. And then exhale, bending the knees like you're sitting in a chair behind you. And inhale, we'll rise up, reaching arms up. And exhale, let's take the arms out to the sides and down. Good. And then just standing for a moment, noticing the steadiness of your feet, the steadiness of your breath. And to find a little more steadiness of the breath, you can use a ratio breath. So maybe breathing twice as long on the exhale as the inhale. It doesn't have to be exactly twice as long, but just making it longer. So you could count in for 4, and out for 6. You can always use it through the mouth or the nose. Now, can you find some ease through your eyes, your neck, your jaw, and your shoulders? And now finding the 3 corners of your feet, ball of big toe, ball of pinky toe, center of heel. And we'll come in front of the chairs again if you left. We're just going to inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale to fold. Same starting position, or not wide-legged, just normal width between the feet. Okay, you can put a little bend in the knees again. And this time, let's lift the right foot off the floor, bending the knee so the foot comes behind. Let's see that. And I'm probably going to bend my left knee a lot more, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to inhale, kick that leg back like I'm stamping the foot on the ceiling, and then exhale, I'm going to round the spine like I'm trying to bring my knee toward my forehead, and repeat. So it's kind of like maybe a little cat and cow in here too, but you can do that whatever amount. The main thing is the hips, okay? You can even breathe out the mouth on the exhale, and it can be either way, meaning exhale for either position. And hopefully you start to feel it in your left hip supporting you here. Good, and then come down, both feet down. Let's stretch it back to downward dog. Letting your neck relax, your jaw relax. Maybe take a sigh. And then we'll step a little closer to the chair to do the other side. So when you're here, in order to get it in your hips, you gotta bend the knees and take your weight to the heels, okay? And then lift the left foot off the floor, but the weight stays in the right heel, okay? And then I'll do the same thing. Remember, are you getting tight in your shoulders and neck? Like, are you putting a lot of weight there? Could you take it back, relax the shoulders and neck as you do this, okay? And whenever you're ready, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's place that foot down. This time, inhale, reach the chest forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, rise. Exhale, arms out and down. Now we're going to turn around and have a seat in the chair. And across the right ankle over the left thigh. If you can, okay, or get toward that, okay? And then from here, it's going to be sitting a little bit forward so you're not leaning back in your chair. And inhale, bring the knee toward your midline. And exhale, you can gently press it down and repeat. Okay, now leaving it down or out, whatever amount feels okay. And if you're sitting like this, the first thing we're going to do is try to, and you can use the seat if you want, same thing we worked on the floor, rock the pelvis forward. Okay, and you might have a plenty of a stretch just by doing that. Okay, so stay there, or if you don't have plenty of a stretch, what you can do is gently start to hinge. Remember, the hinge is coming from the hip here, not from the waist here, okay? And let the neck and your jaw relax. Feeling the connection with the floor and the chair and your own body. And keep reaching your belly button up and off the leg. So instead of here, where I'm just kind of letting my belly button sink down, right? I'm going to instead create length here and stretch. Good. One more breath. And then slowly rise up. And you can uncross the ankle, stretch the leg out, and bring it down. And just pause for a moment, noticing. Breathing in and breathing out. And we'll cross the left ankle over the right thigh. I'm just starting with bringing the knee up on the inhale towards your midline, and on the exhale, gently pushing it out or pressing it down. And this is just to kind of notice, how's this side feel? Hip and knee. Are there injuries going on? What do we need to be careful of here, if anything? Is it tighter or more open on this side? Okay. Next time you take it out, let's leave it there. And then we'll work on trying to find an upright pelvis. Okay. So finding that place. If you're getting enough of a stretch, you stay there. Keep lifting the belly button up if you're going to hinge. Hinging at the hip. Keep breathing. Good, and then slowly coming up. You can uncross and just stretch it out. Bring that foot down. Pause for a moment here Inhaling, sitting up tall, relaxing shoulders. I'm going to do just a brief little meditation and breath. So if you want to sit back, you can sit back, right? You want to feel like you're at ease but upright, okay? And on the inhale, we're just going to inhale and imagine the word steadiness. And exhale, the word is ease. In Sanskrit, these words are sthira, steadiness, and sukha, ease. So you can also use just those words if you want. Inhaling sthira, exhale sukha. And then just be aware of how you feel. We're going to stand back up, okay? So we'll stand up like we did the sit to stand. You might need to scoot forward and inhale or exhale to come up and hover. Good. Shoulders down your back, chest lifted, and then exhale. Good. Let's inhale. Roll those shoulders up. And exhale, take them down your back. All right. We're going to come down to the floor to practice a different kind of get up and get down, okay? So you can come down there any way, any of the methods, forward fold or bear, get up or get down. And we're going to start by sitting cross-legged. Okay, yeah. Let's all start, and I know I might look backwards to you guys, but let's try it with me saying what my left is, and you do your left. Okay, so my right leg is in front. My right leg is in front. You can always sit on something too. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left arm, and I'm going to spin it around and look at it. So I'm going to spin it around and look at it as I place it down behind me. And you'll see my right knee comes up as I do that. You see that? So here it is again. Watch me for a second. I'm going to take my left arm, I'm going to look at it. But as I do it, watch me instead of doing it yourself. I'm going to spin it around and see how I start to bring my right knee up. And then my next step is going to be spinning around, looking at it. Push off the floor and stand. Okay. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Okay. So taking your left hand, right leg is in front, left hand. I'm going to spin it around behind you. Look at it. You can use your right hand on the floor as well. Then start to lift the knees, spin around, and stand up, and you're facing me again. Maybe. Okay. So now I've got my left leg crossed in front, right? Because that's how I spun around. Now to go down, I'm going to go right. So you go to your right, okay? If you've got your left leg in front, I'm going to spin back around. I'm going to place my left hand, maybe both hands on the floor, and ease my bottom down and sit down, okay? Let's try that same side again. I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to take my left hand behind, look at it, And then start to turn. Place my right hand down. Turn my body toward the back as I lift off the floor. I'm going to keep turning to my left until I spin all the way around. So you keep going left. Yeah. And then I'm going to go back around. So now I'm going to spin toward my right. Place my left hand down, maybe both hands, and ease my bottom down. Okay. Inhale and exhale. Okay, now let's try the other side. I'm going to put my left leg in front. We're only going to try the first step. We're not going up, okay? So I'm going to take my right hand and it's going to, right arm, and it's going to spin around, but I'm going to look at it. And as I do that, I'm just lifting my left knee off the floor. So I get a little bit of momentum, right? Boom. And do you see how when I go around, my left hand goes around too? So my left hand comes around too. And I keep spiraling. I keep spiraling. This is called spiral up, spiral down, okay? I know I went all the way up. Hang on, okay? So let me show again. This time, let's try to go all the way up. Let's take that right arm around, look at it, left arm around. Butt lifts up. You keep going right. You keep going right. And that's how you get all the way up. Okay, nice. You might need to adjust the feet. That's fine. And then to get back down, we go left, right? So we're going left, come around, down to the floor, and down. Ah, okay. Let's try that side again. So left arms coming around. Left arms coming around. All the way up. You're spinning to the right. Good. And then we're going back down. Left arm comes around. Back down. Whew. All right. Good job, you guys. Let's come away or come out of that, I should say. Take a V. Notice how your legs feel. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, take them down your back. And again. Good. Let's take the hands out in front and make a fist. Shoulder, let's have their hands lower than the shoulders so you don't get caught up in your shoulders, okay? We're going to exhale as you bend the fist downward, okay? And then inhale, we're going to turn the palms forward, spread the fingers wide, pull the fingers back. Exhale, make a fist go down. If you start to get tight in the shoulders, just move the hands down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Pulling fingers back towards forearm. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. And then just bring the arms down. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, take them down your back. I'm going to bend the knees and bring the feet in front of you. I'm going to take my hands behind my back. Okay. I'm going to press down at the fingertips. Inhale, roll the shoulder heads back. Good. Now exhale, you could stay here the whole time. Or you could, on the next exhale, try to press into the feet and lift your butt off the floor. You might even squeeze the glutes. And then inhale, can you lower with control? Good. Exhale. Inhale, roll the shoulder heads back. You're going to try to keep those rolled back as you exhale, lift up. Inhale down. Good. Exhale, soften. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lift. Good. Inhale down. Good. And exhale, release. Just let the arms soften, let the wrists soften. We're going to come into a chest opener. You can use 2 blocks or 2 blankets or pillows, whichever you prefer. I'll show both as usual. Okay, I'm going to show with the blocks. I've got one on the low level and then the back one on the medium. Of course, you can adjust the heights as you want. When I lie down, it goes just like if you are somebody wearing a bra, or you know where somebody wears a bra, it would be the bottom of the block is about at the bra line or a little above, and then the head comes back to the other block. You want it to feel not like a huge opening, but just supportive and restful while there is still some opening across the chest. You might just take a sigh. Now, if you only have 1 block or you don't have any blocks, what you could do is use blankets, and I really like this, or even a bolster. Maybe I'll show it with a bolster today. No, I'll show blankets. Okay. So I fold 1 blanket up, large rectangle. That'll be for my upper back. And I don't have a second blanket here, so I'm going to use a block on any height. Put across my upper back, same placement. Oh, and that feels so good. I always love how that blanket feels doing that. The arms can spread out, or they could come down if it feels better. Knees can be bent with feet wide, knees leaning in, or they could straighten out. If it doesn't feel just right, spend a little time adjusting. And lower the props, raise them up. Make sure your shoulders aren't up by your ears, creating tension. Long exhales. Now, you can stay here in this position if it feels restorative for you, or you can come into any restorative position, Shavasana, or anything else. Or maybe there's a few last poses you wanted to do. Feel free to do that as well. And whatever you've chosen is noticing the support of the floor and or the props below you. That steadiness. And then finding ease or inviting in ease as you exhale, softening somewhere. And inviting yourself to drop in a little bit further, letting go a little bit further. Notice how your mind is feeling, how your body is feeling, your energy level. And if you're ready to move again, you might just widen the hands or roll the feet and ankles, or you can stay here longer. You might stretch arms overhead as you reach through the heels. Just bringing movement back slowly as though you're really getting to know your body for the first time. You can roll to your side to come up, or if you're on the blocks, you might need to put your forearms down to come up. And just pause for a moment seated. And reminding yourself of this steadiness and ease. And thank you for joining me today